Well, no one makes me smile like my boy.
What about that sweet little baby girl with the champion's chin?
Well, she fills the chest with happiness, too, of course, but in a much less complicated way. She never has to perform, never has to achieve. As long as she merely is, she brings joy. But you, son, bring pride along for the journey.
Charles Sr. was one of my favorite characters this season because even though he's despicable, he doesn't care, he just owns it. I mean, look at that smile, just so confident in all the devious shit that he's into. And I started to really appreciate his confidence and how comfortable he was with himself considering all these other characters and their moral dilemmas. Every season they lie to themselves, trying to convince themselves that they're good people. Like Wendy this season with her medical license and all that. It was so annoying because obviously she did something pretty bad, yet she was still so dramatic about it. But I guess that's why we watch dramas, right? But Charles Sr. though, he just is. There's no dilemma going on up there. He is what he is and he's unapologetic about it, just fully comfortable with it. And in that sense, he's probably the highest achieving character in this entire show just because of that attitude. It's like he achieves some sort of twisted Zen state where he has inner peace and enlightenment, even though, you know, he's always into something, but it seems to work for him. So in this respect, he's leagues above everyone else. So in this video, I want to talk about why a few of the other characters in this show will never reach that Charles Sr. level. Sad, but true. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell you guys that we opened up our price action masterclass for enrollment. Now I'm going to link you to a page where you could learn more above it at the top of this video and down below in the description and comments. But this is a course we created at Makarov, and actually my business partner Tyler, he's the one who narrates it. And if you don't know, Makarov is the global macro research and consulting firm that I co-founded with my partners Tyler and Alex. So in this course, Tyler goes deep into the philosophy and theory behind price action, and then he relates that to actual tactics that you can use. So this isn't another just bullshit course teaching you how to make trend lines. Those courses are the worst, I hate them. This is actual real theory of why price action works and how you can use it. And most traders don't have that background or understanding. Tyler does because he's a quant expert, so we did this course so that he could teach all of that. But we're keeping enrollment open until Sunday, so go check out that page that I linked to up there and down below. And there's no risk to check out the course because there's a 60-day guarantee on it. So you could go through the whole course, and if you don't like it, just email me and we'll give you your money back. Simple, no risk. But let's get back to this video. So what did Charles Sr. explain to Chuck in that first clip? Basically, he said, your little sister, that little baby, well, I love her just because she's a baby. Baby doesn't have to perform or achieve. That's my Charles Sr. impression with the teeth, because you know they're dentures, right? But they look good. But Chuck has to perform because Chuck brings something different. He brings pride. But to bring that pride, he has to dance like a little monkey for his dad. And what a great way to manipulate someone, right? And I'm sure Charles Sr. has been doing this to Chuck since he was a little kid, just training him like this. And we've seen that over these past seasons, how they have kind of that strange relationship. So Chuck for his entire life has been trained to try and work for his father's approval, just constantly. And I'm sure that's a huge driver of why Chuck achieves so much. He's a very successful guy and he's highly motivated because of his dad. And this isn't the only example of this type of manipulation. Axe does the same thing to his employees.
Maybe I want them to feel the opposite of the way Wags does right now. Totally uncomfortable in their position and place. Scared to death of my disapproval, of failing, of not being exactly where I need him to be, exactly when I need him there.
Many of them thrive under those conditions for long bursts, but then they need to recover.
And as Wendy said, some people thrive in this environment, but that doesn't mean it's not messed up. The problem is that the approval of the person who's manipulating these people, it's never actually achieved. That's the whole point. It's like the approval is on the end of a fishing line, and every time that person comes close, you just pull it away. So that way that person just keeps running and trying, and it's a never-ending sad-ass treadmill that they're stuck on. But the person in power has it great, right? So in this case, Charles Sr. or Axe, because those people are just working for their approval. And you know, this show is all about power moves, right? Well, it is a truly powerful move to put yourself in that position. And it's very effective, and you can actually do it in your everyday life. I'm not saying you should, but you can. In any one-on-one relationship, it's not too difficult to do. Helps if you do have actual power though, or authority. That's normally where it goes down the most. But this is actually what they do in pickup culture, at least based on that one YouTube video I saw. So they call it negging. So pickup culture is all about trying to pick up members of the opposite sex, right? So negging is one of the strategies to do that. And to neg someone, what you do is basically subtly disrespect them. It's like you build them up and then knock them down a little bit just to shake their confidence. So then all of a sudden that person starts working for your approval. So the power dynamic goes from maybe equal to like this, where you're in power because that person is not working for your approval. And you know, I said it starts like this, the power dynamic. dynamic, right? But the way that pickup guys pitch it is that you can be an ugly ass dude going to a really hot girl. So the power dynamic can start out like this, where the girl's up here and you're just super ugly down here. But through this method, you can make it like this. I don't know, I never went deep into that pickup rabbit hole, but the point is, it's just emotional manipulation. Now, the person that this is being done to, the person that's being manipulated, so in this case, Chuck or Axe's employees, well, they're screwed. They are never gonna be happy as long as they're in this position. Because think about being in that position, you're gonna have constant anxiety and a constant feeling of being unfulfilled, because you have this hole inside of you that you're working to fill by gaining the approval of someone else. So you keep working and chasing and running and trying to feel that approval, while the whole time the manipulator is pulling the approval away and using you to forward their agenda and goals. So the manipulator ends up winning and the person who's being manipulated loses. And Wendy said it is effective, because the person being manipulated, they're gonna work so hard, but they're never gonna find peace. They're never gonna be happy in a situation like that. So it's really messed up when parents do this to kids, just like Charles Sr. and Chuck here. But it's not like we don't see that. It actually happens a lot in just everyday society, especially with Asian kids and Asian parents, because Asian kids kill themselves trying to impress their parents. They just go wild in school, and in my opinion, it's really not worth it. And some of these kids do actually go crazy because of that pressure. And it's bad, but in a lot of cases, I don't know if the parents know that's what they're doing to their kids. You know, they just want the best for them. Now, Charles Sr., I'm sure he knows. And then he uses that excuse, oh, I just want the best for you, sonny. Especially based on that clip, he said to Chuck, you know, you gotta work for my approval. And this is the messed up dynamic in any close relationship. So that's why I was proud of Chuck this season when he didn't do what Wendy wanted. Because you remember all of Wendy's problems with the medical board and her license. She was basically manipulating Chuck, saying, you do this for me and you'll be back on my good side. You'll have my approval. Our relationship will be better. But Chuck, by the end, you know, he didn't do anything. He was basically done with that. So that right there was an example of him getting out of one of these types of relationships where he's being manipulated. So the other place where this dynamic sucks is in the workplace with your boss. So just like Axe and his employees. Because for your boss, what do? You try to work for their approval so you get that promotion and you get more money, right? Now, in my case, I absolutely hated trying to impress a boss for some politics bullshit. And I'm very biased against schools for the same reason, with teachers grading papers or colleges doing admissions. I hate performing for people for like stupid reasons. I mean, I like performing. Like if you put me on stage, I'll do stupid stuff for a laugh. But in that dynamic where someone is holding something above you and they're like, oh, you gotta do this and then maybe I'll give you a piece. I just hate that. Even if it's like a legendary guy like Axe, I'm still thinking, who the hell are you? I'm not here to play your game. And I know I have more of an extreme opinion here. It's probably too extreme, but that's why I'm on my own with these companies, Makarov, Is Fallible. But I like this way a lot better, because now it's just a direct relationship between me and my clients. There's no manager or middleman trying to grade me on something. The person who should be grading me is the client. So it's like, okay, I do something for you. Did you like it? Did you benefit? Okay, good. If you did, then you're gonna pay me money, and both parties are gonna be happy, you and me. It's capitalism, providing value and getting value in return. Everybody wins. No bullshit. So the thing I really liked about Taylor, and I actually liked Taylor's character back in the previous seasons, but they ended that stupid relationship with Axe because they went off on their own, right? They escaped the game that Axe was playing. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think Axe was not letting Taylor come on the fundraising trail, even though he promised he would let them. And I can't remember if he was talking to Wendy or something, but he was saying that he didn't want to bring them on the fundraising trail because they wanted to keep them in their place and keep them hungry and working for Axe. That way Taylor would be furthering Axe's goals, but not their own goals. And Axe hoped to hold that position of power over them because, you know, he's the top hedge fund king, and have Taylor continuously work for that approval. But Taylor broke down that game and just got out. So that was awesome, because as I said, I hate that, because Taylor is all about those results, right? They want to put up numbers in the market, and that should speak for itself, not how much they can make Axe happy. Now I'm talking about this because I think this show gave just really good examples of these types of relationships. So if you recognize what's happening in this show, you could kind of recognize it in your own life. So if you see a power dynamic where you're being manipulated, you should just get out, because it's not worth it. If you don't get out, then you're always going to be at the mercy of that manipulator, and they can pull that rug out from under you at any time because you're basically their bitch. And that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from, and why you keep working and you're always trying to impress them, because you never really know where you stand either. You never feel comfortable, just like Axe was saying about his employees. And in my opinion, that's no way to live, because you'll never have that peace. You'll never be happy. You'll always just be chasing, and you're chasing something really, really stupid too. And that's what a lot of these characters are doing in this show. So you want to be like Charles Sr. in a sense. He's real comfortable and happy, and it's not too hard to break out of this dynamic once you recognize it. I think recognizing recognizing it is the hardest part. But once you do recognize it, you could opt out of playing someone's game. Now, of course, it's easier said than done, depending on the relationship, but I believe in you. But let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comments. Maybe I'm way off base here, but I personally always keep an eye out for relationships like that because I don't do that. And also don't forget to check out our price action masterclass, because if you're trading or investing, then technical analysis and price action are key. But there's a lot of BS out there with stupid indicators, with stupid names. So that's a big reason why we created this thing in the first place, because we go into the actual theory. So you have the base understanding you need to use price action however you want. Going way beyond trend lines here, I promise. And like I said, Tyler is the quant expert at our research firm, so he's the one who did this course, and it's like 6.5 hours long. So it's a little on the longer side, probably longer than we wanted, but we wanted to cover everything in depth. It's really great, and it actually taught me a lot too, because I had to edit the thing, but it was great because I was learning from Tyler the whole time. But you don't have to take my word for it, because we put a 60-day guarantee on it. So you can take the course, and if you don't like it or don't learn anything, we'll just give you your money back. No problem. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna learn a lot. So again, the link to learn more about that is up above and down below in the description and comments. And if you like these billions breakdowns, then make sure you check out our playlist. I'll link to that above too. We got a bunch of them all from season 4. We broke down almost every single episode, and I'm gonna do one more of these until, of course, the season starts up again. But if you want to see that, then subscribe to this channel and smash that notification bell so you get an email notification when it comes out. And we publish videos almost every day about all sorts of topics, all market and business related. So subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Stay fallible out there. Bye.